Hey guys, my name is Moon and welcome back for more Umineko When They Cry, episode 7. So we finished up the tea party last time and it was something else. Our main man, Will, he came back, right? So yes, let's start this one, the other one, the tea party of the Inhuman. So who's gonna be here? Who knows, right? Burn Castle, Lambda Delta, Federine. Who knows? There are a lot of them. Look back. It's Federine's place, so Federine is gonna be here. 2 white pieces were set on the chessboard. The countless black pieces surrounding them were now just packed together and not even placed on the squares. Burn Castle tipped the 2 white pieces over and took them off the board.
こんなところでおしまいでいいかしら？
やはりそなたの朗読は耳に馴染むぞ、我が巫女よ。
あんたのお望み通り、腹渡の内側まで書き出してやった。答え合わせにはこれで十分でしょ？
実に満足しているぞ。そなたが明かした答えを鍵に、これまでの物語を遡り、まるで宝石箱のような密室の数々を一つずつ開いていこう。鍵を得ることは楽しい。そしてその鍵で個々を開いていくことはもっと楽しい。ご苦労であった我が巫女よ。これより先は私一人でゆっくりと思考を楽しみたい。もう十分であるぞ。
The witch of it either going sat back in her rocking chair, a satisfied smile on her face, as though enjoying a pleasant aftertaste. There was no need for a game board anymore. She just had to go back in her mind through the whole set of tales to check whether her theory was right or not. It seemed to leave her pleasantly drunk.
私はこれで用済みかしら？
ご苦労であった我が巫女よ。
My Miko.
その任を解く。私は再び眠りにつく。
But it was a nice story though, right? I mean, with Federine telling Burn Castle to give me everything. No secrets, no nothing like that. It just show everything. I mean, technically they pretty much showed, let's say 99% of what Yasu is about. I guess you could say that. And then yeah, some stories or some scenes they didn't show, but it was good.
この心地よきまどろみを数百年にわたって楽しみたい。そして私が再び飽きるとき、そなたは私を楽しませるためにまた新しい物語を見つけてくるのだ。それまでの数百年のひととき、そなたの自由を許す。あっぱれであったぞ、ベルンカステル。かわいい、かわいい、我が巫女よ。
知ったことじゃないわ。勝手に干からびて死になさいよ。じゃあね、未来永劫さようなら。
数百年ごときをそなたは未来永劫と呼ぶというのか？
Federine's consciousness slowly faded away. A job well done, I guess. Wait, don't tell me it's over. As the owner of the steady slumber grew deeper, The lights about the room slowly darkened.
永遠におやすみ、アウアウローラ。
Yeah, she doesn't want to really say her full name. Augustus Aurora.
このゲーム版はあんたにはもう不要よね。私がもらっていくわ。
Berncastle reached out toward Beato's game board, which lay on the table in front of Federine's rocking chair, and tapped it twice. The game board flew into the air, folded up and put themselves away, and then landed on Berncastle's outstretched right hand.
私、まだ全然ゲームマスターをやっていないのよ。私はベアとの葬儀をやっただけ。そして腹渡を引きずり出しただけ。まだ何にもやっちゃいない。
Berncastle's smile twisted evilly. Then the game board floated up once again, and the world unfolded itself above Berncastle's palm.
Sa, ベアとのゲーム版の駒たち。私を最高に楽しませる最高に残虐な物語を紡がせてあげるわ。おののきなさい。約束された絶対の運命を。奇跡の魔女ベルンカステルの名において。そしてベアとのゲームの最後のゲームマスターとして宣言するわ。ただ宣言するだけじゃつまらないわね。ベアとのゲームにのっとって赤き真実で宣言してやった方がいいかしら。
それがいいんじゃない？まだ甘い夢を見てる魔女どももいるみたいだし。
あらラムダ、いたの？いるわよね。私のいるところならどこへでも。
言ってやりなさいよ。甘い夢見てる魔女どもに。
そうするわ。
But yeah, Lambda had a very, very minor, I guess minor... What is the word for that? No. Yeah, she didn't show herself that much, I mean, in this episode compared to the other ones, right? Yeah, episode 5, she was there a lot. Episode 6. And in the episode 7 right now, not that much.
奇跡の魔女として、そして最後のゲームマスターとして最後のゲームを宣言するわ。
Technically, you can say that, yeah, the witches took a break this episode for most of the part. Yeah, for most of the part.
そして約束する。
Started the final game.
このゲームにハッピーエンドは与えない。
Okay. Hello? Okay, there we go. Who is this? A single girl was crying in a desolate, quiet chapel. She was a small girl. Only 6 years old. Oh, 6 years old, a small girl. Is that Angie? The girl who would, for 12 years starting now, lament the fact that she wasn't in the island during October 4th and the 5th in 1986. It is Angie. Then, a single man appeared. The man noticed the girl, walked up to her quietly, trying not to scare her, and put his arms gently around her shoulders.
お兄ちゃん。
探したぞ、エンジェ。
The girl jumped into her big brother's chest and started crying again.
どうした？何をそんなに悲しんでいるんだ？
ラスの子にいじめられたの。テレビで、お母さんは悪い人たちとつながりがあったって。
I mean, you could say that. I mean, her family, right? Kasumi. What's the name of the family? Sumadera? Was it Sumadera? Yeah, something like that. But yeah, their family is technically like a Yakuza. And the Akirie was supposed to be the head of their family.
だから、うちのお父さんとお母さんが犯人で、みんなを殺したんだろうって。エヴァおばさんに、そんなことないよねって聞いたのに、答えてくれないの。お父さんとお母さんは悪くなんかないよね。
But yeah, for you, what would you like? Would you like to know if your mom and dad were evil? Or would it be fine for you to not know that? I mean, for me personally, I think it's in the middle. Like, I actually don't know. Like, it's, of course, it's nice to know the, like, let's say, maybe true story. Let's say if Ava said it, right? If Ava said it to Angie, like, oh, by the way, this is what happened on that day, on October 4th and 5th on the island. Your mom and dad, yeah, there were demons. There were actual demons and they killed everyone. So, I mean, like, in a sense, it's okay to hear, but then again, you won't really believe it. Because, yes, for Angie, she was raised as her mom and dad were good to her, right? Or at least how they showed themselves to her. They were good people, right? So you would really not believe this. From your memories, mom and dad were good, but in reality, they they were actually bad, right? So, I don't know. Conflicting feelings, something like that. You wouldn't believe it.
かわいそうに。
What happened to Butler, by the way, as well? It didn't show him anymore. In the flashback there. Yeah. He was just gone. What happened to him?
みんなが、あの島で、あの日何があったのかを、好き勝手なことを言ってるんだな。そこにお座り。
I mean, the story, though. If, for example, this happened in the real world, this story would be really interesting. A lot of people would be talking about this. Yeah, if this actually, like, happened in our real world, let's say, yeah, our real world, not the real world in Umineko, people would be talking about this non-stop. You would have videos of this non-stop. Like, what really happened in that island in Rokinjima? Did the people really do that? Did they do that? But yeah, very interesting story. Very mysterious. Whole family. Like, these are nobles, these are rich people. Very, very rich. And then, yeah, only one was left by the next morning. So, what happened to them? When the man pointed to the floor, a cloud of gold butterflies gathered there and created a chair. The girl obediently sat down on it.
お兄ちゃんは知ってるよね。お父さんとお母さんは悪い人じゃないって知ってるよね。
ああ、もちろんだとも。誰も悪い人なんかいないって知ってるさ。
I know that none of them were bad people.
じゃあ教えて。あの日、何があったの？ロケン島で何があったの？
いいとも、話してあげるよ。
Ooh, imagine we're gonna get another 5-hour story here.
あの日、あの島で何があったのか。
それは、怖い話。
まさか。
それは、悲しい話？
とんでもない。
それは、どんな話？
聞いたエンジェが自分で決めるといい。決して辛い話じゃないんだよ。だからお聞き。
うん、バトラーお兄ちゃん。
あの日、お兄ちゃんたちはロッケン島へ行ったんだよ、 とても大勢でね、大事な親族会議があることになってたんだ。まずは、どこから話したものかな。これが、エンジェに捧げる、最後のゲーム。お聞き、エンジェ。あの日、六軒島で、何があったのか。これは、辛い話でも、悲しい話でもないんだよ。
Dude, what? Oh my god, we're gonna wait till the next episode for this? Oh my god. So next game is a game, as he said there, a game for Angie. Oh my, she's gonna be the main character for next episode. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think is gonna happen by next time, right? I don't know. Honestly, with all the cat box talk this episode, you don't know what is real and what is not real anymore. I don't know. But yeah, with this episode, as we finish it, I guess, I think that for me personally, what happened there with Ava, her surviving him, and Kyrie, Rudolph, I think that is real. Yeah, at least maybe some part of it. But I mean, let's just say that that's how it happened. I mean, Burn Castle said it in red, but then again, you can say that every message bottle, every mysterious bottle is true in a sense, right? If you close the cat box, and then what is fiction becomes true. All of the, let's say, message bottles, mysterious bottles that were floating around with different scenarios, different stories, it becomes true now, right? You don't really know what happened, or truly, but if I'm gonna believe a story, I guess, maybe let's say this one, with what happened in the tea party, yeah, last time, right, with the one we finished, maybe we can say that. Or maybe I'm just believing it because I wanted to see something a little bit more, I mean, like tragic or kind of reality, or something real that people would do. Because yeah, gold, a lot of money, people would kill them or fight over it, even if they're family, right? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in episode 8. There's still some stuff there, but it's very short. We should have done this last time. Oh yeah, so I guess we'll just talk about the game, or this episode, I mean. Let me check the characters. Let me move to the next scene, sir. Ooh, wow, we got a portrait now. Oh, both of them. Episode 7. Okay, now we can execute. Oh, we can execute Leon. What's that? Why? We can't execute anyone. Are you serious right now? Oh, Kinzo only. Okay, let me try everyone first before we... Shannon? We can't... Nothing? No one? Yeah, we can't do it. Okay, no one really. It doesn't work. Okay, Kinzo spent half his life living lethargically. Because of this, his mental age remains young and does not grow. Thanks to his fascination with the West that he has held since he was young, he is highly proficient with the English language. Okay, how about this side? Claire, we can do that. Oh, we can do that. Okay. Beatrice Castiglioni. The meeting had a great effect on his fate and that of Rokijima. My boy Will. Okay, so I don't know, let's go to this side first, as these were the first characters that were introduced to us. So Will, honestly, Will and Leon, I'll just put them at the same time. As I was saying all the time, I keep saying, I mean, throughout this episode, I really like them. Both of them. Their characters are so good. Especially I like the relationship that they're showing in the scenes between them. It's funny, it's nice. So yeah, I watched a show back then. It was a romance romance, comedy shows, and anime, of course. The name is Maid Sama. Kind of like that. Main character is kind of like Leon, but yeah, for the main character in that show, she's actually female. Yeah, for Leon here, we don't really know, right? But it's kind of the same style, but yeah, but the story, of course, is different. Yes, but it just reminds me of that character that I watched way back then, and it was a fun show. And yeah, this character that is like a lady, but the way she acts is more of, let's say a guy a little bit. And then throughout the show, they're showing her as much more feminine. But yeah, just reminds me of that. But yeah, both of them, Leon and Will, really good addition to the story. Even though it's episode 7, the impact they made, at least for me, was really big, and I really like them. I think I like Will even more than Butler now for some reason. I don't know, maybe because he's solving the mysteries, right? He's much more competent, I would say. That's why I like Will. But both of them, tier S for me, tier S. So for Jessica, did she add some scenes here? She had a test of courage, I guess, right? But that was it for her. Smaller scenes, it didn't really explore more of that love, I guess, with Kanon. Because yeah, I guess they would explore it already last episode, in episode 6. So not really. For George here, expanded more on his insecurity with, I guess for George, you could say he is insecure. Sure, he is not really the successor. Ava is not the successor. But the way Ava raised George was pretty much to be a successor, right? Even though he is not the successor. He was just raised that way. So maybe in the future, maybe Kinzo would find George a suitable heir rather than maybe Kraus or Jessica, right? So I think that's where his insecurity came from. Is because he was always raised like that, and he was always wanted to be like a gentleman, right? And then yeah, the stories for him, this answer arcs, people pretty much ignored him, etc. He was jealous of like how Butler and Jessica were, because they were much more, I guess, let's say much more fun people compared to him. Like Jessica and Butler would make friends easily, while George would not. You can say for George, he's a nice guy. Let's just say George is a nice guy, but he is very plain and, let's say, not interesting. You could say something like that for him, and that's why he is insecure. And when he saw Butler, I guess, talking with Shannon, he got jealous, right? He did say that. And when Butler was out of the picture, and then as the years go by, of course, as they grow, and then, yeah, as Shannon, of course, her feelings over her not seeing Butler anymore, and then, yeah, George comes into the picture there, as he is Master George Sama. He had a much more easier way, I guess, of talking to a girl, talking to Shannon, because of how their class is. He's a Ushiramiya family, while Shannon is a servant, right? So Shannon was much more easier to deal with for George, I guess. I would say that. That's why he was attracted to her easily, I would say. And that's it for George, I guess. They just showed more of his insecurity. Yeah, that's it. When they were talking in the arbor, in the tea party, he was like, I see Butler here again. I'm kind of jealous. Butler might steal you from me, he said to Shannon, right? So it's kind of bad. Don't be like George. Don't be like that. Don't think like that. Butler's not gonna do anything. Okay, who else? Kinzo. Kinzo kind of conflicted here. In the beginning when we saw... No, conflicted I mean based on his story. His backstory. So when we were shown his backstory in the beginning, it was kinda, let's say... You would say biased, I guess. I get biased for him. Well, I mean, we could say that because when we saw the tea party, there was a single scene there saying that, hey, Ushiromiya, so yeah, meaning Kinzo, what do you mean like steal the gold, etc. Like it was implying that it was Kinzo's idea to steal the gold and maybe that was his plan. But when we saw his backstory, there was nothing like that, correct? So now, there's some scenes I guess shown there that is correct. And then maybe there's some scenes that was not really shown that is actually what really happened, right? Maybe the relationship with Beatrice was really real. Maybe that was really real. But for the gold itself, maybe Kinzo really did want to have the gold as well. Sure, he wanted Beatrice. Sure, he fell in love with her. But the gold was also a big deal for him. So maybe we could say maybe he incited the fight there between the Japanese and the Italians. Maybe he was the one who started. Maybe remember when someone threw a grenade inside the room with the Italians, right? Who knows? Maybe that was Kinzo. He's the one who did that. He started that, and then afterwards, it pretty much rallied everyone because, yeah, the Japanese versus the Italians now. So maybe he was the one who did that. I don't know. Unless it's actually shown to us, well, we will never know, right? We will never know. So to the other side, I guess, on the other side of Kinzo, this one, Beatrice Castiglione. I mean, normal girl. Based on the backstory, same as Kinzo, I guess, from a noble family. That's why they were pretty much what do you call this? Their chemistry they connected much more easier because they're kind of similar in some ways. Story was short, but it was good. It was a nice introduction, I guess, for her, but I wish that we saw more on what happened afterwards. After the battle there. I wanted to see maybe a couple scenes, maybe a chapter they showed us. Like what happened, right? With Nanjo, because yeah, they met with Nanjo. Because she was kind of, let's say, wounded or whatever. And then, maybe, yeah, I wish that there was more scenes. Maybe a little bit more scenes. And that's that, I guess, right? That's that for her. It's just nice that they finally showed us the real one. The first Beatrice and who she was. So now we go to the family here. We'll talk about Yasuo, I guess, last. So for the family, not really that much scenes except for the tea party itself. So yeah, for all four of them, like gold, man. Money, gold. And I guess we'd say that if we only found the gold, there was no cash card or yeah, the card with the 1 billion yen, it probably wouldn't have ended up that way. Maybe. But who knows? Maybe it would still end right there, or like that, I mean. Because yeah, I think Ava, man, she's so emotional. Like you could see that she was the one arguing with Kraus in the beginning, right? Like, Kraus is saying, of course, what they had deal with, or the deal that they made, right? Kraus was gonna get more, but now Ava wanted for it to be split evenly. Because yeah, all of them found it. And of course, Kraus is not gonna allow that. Say we had a deal, right? You gotta respect that, all of that stuff. And then Ava's like, no, we found this. All of us found this. And then, yeah, that made, I guess, Rudolph, Rosa, speak up that, yeah, it has to be evenly shared. And that's where, I guess, it started. They were pretty much blinded already, not thinking rationally. And then Ava, of course, being very, very emotional and all, having a gun in her hand. I guess Natsuhi, you could say, is pretty much like, yeah, all they're arguing, right? So accidentally shot her, and then that was it. That was the beginning. But you could see how not rational they were, because afterwards Ava was like, how about we just blow up the whole island, right? And then we'll split up the 1 billion yen, not thinking of the gold anymore. The gold was out of the equation in her head. So basically, her killing Natsuhi, and then yeah, Kraus died, right? So basically they died for nothing because she wouldn't care about the gold anymore. She was panicking in her head that, yeah, the gold, I don't care if you don't get any of the gold anymore. Let's just split the 1 billion yen, and then let's go to Kuwadorian, and then let's wait until the island explodes. Like, come on. You killed both of your big brother, and his wife died, and that's it? They died for nothing? You could have just talked, right? But yeah, they were not thinking rationally in this situation, and all of that happened. And then Kyrie, obviously, yeah, she took advantage of it. And she killed everyone. Most of them. Poor Jessica. Poor Maria. Thank God they didn't show what happened to Maria there. George. Honestly, the scene with George and Rudolph, it's kind of sad. George saying, "My kind uncle Rudolph. My jokester uncle Rudolph." And then yeah, he got killed. My God. That was something else. Yep. It felt different, honestly, because the way they died, I guess, in the other episodes is much more... You don't see it sometimes. They just died, right? Sometimes you just discover the corpse, or they would die in a scene with magic. But now this is much more a realistic depiction on what really happened. And it was much more sad, I guess. Much more sad. Rosa. Yeah, Rosa was like, she thought that she had a plan. Rosa had a plan. And then she died. Shot by Kyrie. All of these, yeah, I think what triggered Rosa is Ava saying that, oh, you're like Maria's husband, or Maria's husband, I mean, Maria's father, or your husband, right? He left. Something like that. And it triggered Rosa so much. And that was it for her. But yeah, I mean, if they were just adults and they talked this out and not talking with their emotions like Ava had in the beginning, things would have been a little bit more different, I suppose. Yeah. But having that cash card there, I think that was the main problem there. If it was only the gold, it would have been a different story. Still, they would argue, of course, but you can't really sell gold, or you cannot trade gold easily. So it's gonna be a much more different discussion, and maybe, who knows, right? Who knows? Who knows what fate is gonna do? Maybe Kyrie would still do that, still shoot them. I don't know. And then we have the servants here. Runaway. Or I mean Genji, I say Runaway. Genji, Nanjo, Kumasawa. So pretty much for them, it's mostly on the backstories for Claire, for Yasu, right? Kumasawa, like a mother, like a grandmother, I suppose, to Yasu, always playing with her, always doing all that stuff. But was it good though that Kumasawa was doing that? Honestly, I don't know for me, because this was a big thing though. You'd say that, like, Yasu became obsessed, and no, not obsessed, I guess, but the witch Beatrice, I mean, it became the basis of the legend, or all of this stuff. The magic, all of that stuff became, it got twisted, I guess. Like as Yasu's life progressed, all of those good things, I suppose, that she had with Kumasawa, and then Maria, them playing all that stuff as it went on, yes, as we saw with the episodes, right? The witches, the friends, all of that were twisted, they became killers in a story. And I don't know how to think about this, yeah. Would it, like, if Kumasawa didn't teach Yasu about witches, would it be different? Maybe you could say it would be different because Yasu, remember that Yasu decided that she wanted to become a witch. She was gonna leave that Yasu personality or persona behind, and she's gonna transcend, and she's gonna become Beatrice now. That's why we had Shannon for most of the part, right? So maybe it would have been, I think it would have been a much more, like a bigger difference if she didn't learn, or if people didn't really play onto with the Beatrice, the witches stuff. It would have been a little bit more different. Who else? Genji. Genji, you could say, I think for Genji, he wanted to do good by Yasu. For him, he failed. He knows that he failed with the Kuwadorian Beatrice, right? Beatrice number 2. He failed to protect her there. And he wanted to do much more better for Yasu, the baby. Problem is, I think it got worse though. But we wouldn't really know what's gonna happen. Like, sure, you had a Leon Miracle World, but who knows, right? Who knows? I mean, you could say in Genji's mind, what if the baby did, let's say, live with them? What if the baby looked still like Beatrice? What would Kinzo would have done, right? So maybe in Genji's mind, we cannot have that happen again. So the best choice was for the baby to disappear for now, and then maybe in the future come back to Rokujima, and I guess all of that stuff happened. But fate is messed up, and did that to the baby, did that to Yasu, all she experienced. And I don't know. I guess you could say that Genji meant well, but in the ending for Yasu, it was bad. It was really bad, right? For Nanjo, what can we say about a Dr. Nanjo? I think for Nanjo, very simple. Become a much better friend to Kinzo. Yeah. He could have said that. I mean, if I remember correctly, again, there was a scene there in the beginning of Claire's backstory where Nanjo was like, talking about Kinzo's honor and stuff like that. And then he understands and shit and stuff. And he did say to Kinzo that you shouldn't do that because, yes, that is your kid, right? But I think he needed to be a much more better friend to Kinzo there. Like, you gotta push forward if people are like that. And force them. Like, remind them all the time to not do that. But yeah, I guess you could say it's not in Nanjo's control. Like whatever Nanjo said to Kinzo, like, treat that baby as your daughter. Do not treat that as a resurrection of your first love. And then Kinzo, I mean, we know what he did, right? Maybe if Nanjo pushed even much more further, maybe he could have stopped what had happened. We don't know. Only time would tell. Only fate would tell. I mean, it is what it is. That's why I guess for them, they're like, we could say that Nanjo, Genji, Kumasawa, they would listen to whatever Yasu would say, is because maybe they're feeling guilty with what happened. And yeah, they followed her because of that. They felt bad for what she experienced. And yeah. They're trying to, what is the word for that? Try to compensate for what they had done. And now they were helping her, right? And then yeah, we had a scene back then, by the way. Or yeah, in the tea party. Them or Yasu saying, why did you heal me? Right? I had an injury. Etc. etc. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out more of that in the future. We'll see. But yeah, I guess the biggest one for the story, Yasu, Shannon, and Canon. For Yasu, finally, thank God, I mean, we got a name to the culprit. I always say culprit, say Sayo sometimes, say Shannon sometimes, say Canon sometimes, but finally got a name, Yasu right here, right? So for Yasu, at least the way they were showing the story for her, it was kind of tame, I guess. Very tame, very calm. Sure, it was sad because she was alone, right? She had no friends. The people from the Fukuin house would bully her and sometimes not talk to her. She had made her own friends because of that. Her imaginary friends because of that situation. It was sad, but it was much more tame than I expected, right? They didn't really show like the main problems that maybe she had. Because yeah, sure, they showed us the promise between Butler and her pranking the other people there, making a gaap, right? And then using that as an excuse, her being possessed, and then playing tricks and all of that stuff. So yeah, it was sad because she was a little girl and she was alone. That was a sad part for her there, but the real sad thing they didn't show in this one. The part where how I guess the character broke, they did not show that. Yasu's relationship with, or Yasu, Shannon, Canon, their relationship with Jessica, with George, they did not show an inch of that in the flashback. Nothing there. And that was really important. Gender, they didn't show that. They just gave us a little snippet in the tea parties. Nothing there. That was a big one. Showing or telling that, I mean, yeah, they did say that you are the daughter of Kinzo, but they didn't elaborate any further. The way they presented it is, I know that I am Kinzo's daughter. I want to know the story of me, but I guess we'll just see in the future or as time goes, right? They did not really say it. Like, oh, by the way, you're Kinzo's daughter with his daughter. Imagine hearing that. It's kind of messed up, right? And then, by the way, remember Nazi? You remember Madam? But she threw you off a cliff. And you had an injury, a grave injury. I don't know. Like, those are the biggest things on why, let's say, Yasu broke and did what she did. And they did not show it for some reason. It was very vague. It was just a minor scene in the tea parties that showed us that. And for Yasu, I guess you could say, if we could base the tea party on what or let's say that's what really happened, she didn't kill anyone. technically, but you'd say inadvertently she killed everyone or most of them. I mean, you could say that because she planned all of this. She was gonna do it, but the adults of the Oshirimiya family, they solved it, right? So she hadn't had to do that anymore. The problem is she planned it. She gave the letter. She had guns there. So even though she was not the one who directly killed them, you could say that because of her plan of doing that, it caused the tragedy, right? And yeah, it's kind of messed up still. Like in all the stories, you would say that she's been the one doing the killing, or at least some of them, right? And then, let's say in the real one, what happened in Rokinjima, she didn't even kill a single person. But of all her planning and stuff, the Oshirimiya killed themselves because of that. They fought. Yeah, because if she didn't give the letter there wouldn't be any witch epitaph to do, right? They were not really doing that anymore. The witch's gold and stuff. So I guess the interest, if not for the letter, they would probably just do their meeting and then leave the island, go on with their lives, correct? But with her introducing that, yes, it changed. And it led to them doing that. Even though, yes, Kyrie and Rudolph were the ones who killed the majority of people, just by having this plan of hers, it inadvertently destroyed the Oshirimiya family, except for Ava and Ange, right? So yeah, I wouldn't really say that she's super innocent. In a way, but yeah, she just didn't kill the people, and that was it. She didn't kill anyone. But yeah, we could all agree that she is mentally messed up, mentally unstable. Yeah, we could agree with that, obviously. But yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. This episode was really good though. Even if they didn't really show the actual bad parts, the tragic parts, this episode was really nice. It was really good. I needed this episode. Yeah. Episode 5 and 6 were pretty fun, I guess. Because of Erica. Erica was a rat, but it was pretty fun because we had this battles, I guess, the battles of the red fruit with her. And yeah, that was pretty good. Just like how we had, oh yeah, by the way, we had in the ending of this episode 7, right? Claire and Will. I really like those because they're very interactive with each other. Or you can make, oh, how did that happen? We can think of it, right? Oh, it happened because of this and because of that. It's nice because you can think, even though this visual novel is kinetic, so meaning kinetic as you just read it, nothing really, you cannot really choose anything, input anything, move anything, it's just you're reading it. You can still have a lot of things to do, or a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to, or yeah, you can make theories, you can say your thoughts in it, because there's a lot of stuff happening here. This visual novel is very vague. Yeah, just look at Will and Claire's battle, right? Will was very vague in his answers there. Illusions to illusions, gold root, earth to earth. He was not saying it like, oh, by the way, Shannon was an illusion there, so she cannot kill anyone. Like in the, let's say, the first Twilight, first episode. How was it said again? A corpse cannot be, or a corpse that is an illusion cannot return to Earth. So yeah, you could say that Shannon was there in the garden shed, right? And then yeah, she was an illusion because she can also be canon, right? So you could say that in the first place she was not there. And they did say something else, that if George had moved forward even a little bit and actually checked the face of Shannon, it might have ruined their plans, right? But, oh yeah, I kind of forgot. Yasu and Kinzo pretty much love gambling, right? They love fate, leaving everything up to fate. Especially Kinzo. He could have blown up his whole family. But for some reason, he was so lucky that it did not happen, right? He would trigger the bombs or turn it on, I mean, and then think of something. If he failed, and then all of them will just die. But for some reason, he would always succeed. So he would always win the roulette of fate. Correct? But yeah, that was something else. But I do love having a lot of engagement with this game. Some visual novels, like kinetic visual novels, the story is always presented as is. If you see what's happening there, that's what is really happening. Unlike in this game, you see what's happening, you're gonna be like, how did that happen? Is this really how it happened? Or is this really real? That's why I love this game so much. It's because you can have all these different thoughts that you can put, and you don't even know if it's real or not, or if it's right or not. So yeah, I guess this is it for episode number 7 of Umineko When They Cry. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. So yes, we're gonna move on and do episode 8 in the next one. So I guess, yes, we're gonna do more of Umineko When They Cry in the next one. So I'll just see you then, guys. Bye bye.